Hello and welcome everyone to our 32nd episode of Awakening to Ascension. I am your host, Alex Nelson, here with Marlene and Janae. Our topic today is the deeper meaning of synchronicities. And this one is interesting today because we all showed up wearing yellow, and Janae looked into the spiritual meaning of that. Would you like to share a little bit with that with us, Janae?
Yes, absolutely. So yellow is associated with the solar plexus and it represents the sun and the sunflower. And it's all about personal growth, intuition, and love. And I think that all of us embody all of those. And I believe that it couldn't be more apt with today's episode that we showed up wearing yellow, which is also the sunflower is myself and Marlene's Awaken Wave logo. And what our motto is with regards to it is that we grow in the light as well as in the dark, because the sunlight is needed for us to bloom, but the dark is where we start our growth. That's where our roots begin. So I think that with what we are creating, and today being the full moon, it truly is quite beautiful how when you are also in specific people's energetic field, how you become so aligned with one another. And the synchronicities that happen with that are also just profound. And I'd like to come in with regards to that topic specifically with myself and Alex. So we met doing an 1111 portal activation 2 years ago. And it was 11 hours that we were on. And there were multiple practitioners that were hosting this online activation. And from that meeting, we obviously got to connect with one another, and life continued. And a little bit down the line, we connected again, which was synchronistic. And we lost touch for about a year. And our paths aligned one more time. And now we are working with one another to build and lead a new earth. And I think that is the embodiment of what synchronicity looks like, because I'm sure that all of you have had moments where there's been someone particular that comes into your life and your paths go your separate ways, and then you align again. And you only understand that meaning much later down the line, because we don't even know that meaning yet. We can't even grasp the impact that this work that we're doing is going to have. And the synchronicity, I think, is just truly beautiful. So, Marlene, would you like to add?
Sure. I absolutely I resonate with what you've said. And I think perhaps looking at the meaning of the word synchronicity is really important tonight. And so Carl Jung actually coined a phrase that synchronicity is defined as a causal connecting principle, meaning that if there's a thought, a dream, a feeling that makes an external event in the physical world without having a logical cause or effect linking the two of them, that is what he phrased synchronicity. And so if we think about that, it makes a lot of sense into exactly what you've just explained, with people being connected in divine and perfect order and timing, but yet we don't at that particular time really know what it all entails. So it's to stay open to the synchronicities, to be aware because what happens is when these things happen, we have a reticular activation system in our bodies, and that is like a filter. Okay, so if we think about what filters do, you have, other people will say, you have like rose-colored glasses, you have glasses. So that filter will pull for you what you are concentrating on. So for example, if you think, if you're a woman and you're pregnant, then all of a sudden you see lots of other women that are pregnant. If you want to buy a particular car, because you have subconsciously decided that you're going to buy a red Toyota Land Cruiser, all of a sudden you see that. That is your reticular activating system that's kicked in and said, okay, so you want to see more of that, I'm going to give you more of that. So it's fascinating when we look at what the words really mean and delve deeper into how we live it. And the more we become conscious of it, the more we attract synchronicities into our world. And then to become thankful is a very, very big part of it. Because if you write things down and make notes of it, and you say thank you to the universe for bringing those things into your life, that becomes even more synchronous because of the process that I've just explained, and you draw and attract more. And that means that you manifest so much easier, so much quicker, and so much better in this synchronous process. Alex.
So yeah, my favorite thing about being like a light worker or in this like holistic space, as Janae was saying, like just so many of us have similar goals, right? So when we line up or align with somebody else, we're like, oh, we're doing the exact same thing. So we might as well start doing it together, right? We make a lot more progress. And lately, like I think in another episode, I was saying a lot of synchronicities that I've been seeing. Um, but lately, I've been waking up at 7:44, just on the dot every morning. So I looked into that, what the meaning behind that is, and it was just confirmation. It was like you're on your path, you're doing exactly what you need to be doing. Be patient. I've been getting very, very impatient. But seeing these numbers and like looking them up just reminds me that, yeah, I'm on the right path. I'm doing what I need to be doing. And I've still been seeing my name on license plates, like everywhere I go. Like the other day, I saw three of them on the same road, and I was like, what? What is the universe trying to tell me? Janae, did you have something?
Yes. So I just wanted to touch with regards to Marlene explaining synchronicity and the meaning of the word. If you look at synchronized swimmers that are in alignment with one another, and when they are in their movement, it's such a beautiful flow that they embody while they are in the water. And I think that synchronized swimming can be quite a beautiful visual for you to understand how it evolves in life. And with regards to the synchronicities of, like Alex is saying, he sees Alex on license plates, and just all of these beautiful nudges that we receive daily. And if you're open enough and receptive enough to, like Monine said, to be aware of it, then you'll start to understand slightly more and look into the meaning of what these things could be telling you. And I experienced the most profound synchronistic moments today. And the ladybug, specifically to me, symbolizes something very special, which I gave it a meaning to 7 years ago. And as time has evolved, I've become known as Ladybug. So it's my nickname. And today we were sitting on the top of a mountain at a restaurant that was on the edge of the mountain, and they had just these windows and doors that you could look at the view. And this ladybug landed on my hand. And I was like, oh man, guys, this is amazing. And then I, acknowledged her and I said, thank you. And she flew off and I carried on. And moments later, she returned and she landed on the table. And I acknowledged her one more time and she flew off. And when I say she flew out of the window back towards the mountain because we were in an enclosed restaurant. So the second time she arrived and flew away. Then she arrived again the third time and she landed on my shirt. And then I thought, well, that's no coincidence. That is most definitely synchronicity. This is universe really trying to show me that I'm in complete alignment and I am embodying the ladybug. And she flew away again the third time and she came back a fourth time and she landed over here on my back. And it was almost like I couldn't believe what was happening. So what are the chances that a ladybug would come four times to me in one moment within a period of half an hour? So I just wanted to share that, which I think was just really remarkable. Yes, Marlene.
That's absolutely magical. And that also speaks to something called quantum connection. So when one is in a very high vibrational state of frequency, what happens is you align with certain outcomes. So it means that you don't actually cause it, you don't make it happen, but you actually resonate with it on a timeline where that event already exists. And that again speaks to how we manifest things. So it's a very, very powerful thing. And that speaks to saying that the higher we can hold our frequency and our vibration, the more these synchronistic events are going to keep unfolding for us, guys. And that is just the most incredibly exciting part of being on this journey, because knowing that everything is frequency and vibration, and that whatever we do and whomever we are is that energetic state. Everything that we say, that we think, that we put out there in any form, shape, or fashion, it manifests for you. And that just then brings into the fact that the more you are visually conscious of everything that's happening in your life, the more you're going to see it, the more you're going to attract, and the more your life is just going to become this incredible synchronous journey. How much better than that does it get, universe?
It is so cool. Yeah, that's like synchronicities are just the universe's way of saying you're doing it right, you know? And so like you start seeing them more and more and more, you start getting used to them. But as Janae was talking, this might be a little bit off topic, but it's a very, very important question that came to mind. And if either of you know the answer to this, please tell me. So, what do you call a male ladybug?
No idea.
A man bug.
Man bug. Because you were talking about your ladybug story and you said she flew away, and I was like, how did she know it was a she? Are they all she's? How do they reproduce? I need to know these answers.
Oh, Alex. I want to elaborate another synchronicity that you can look at as well, is how I explained myself and Alex aligning synchronistically over time. And So this is personal experience. When you are busy working on something, so I'm going to be personal now in my explanation so that I can speak it better. But I've owned an online baby store and an online dance store, and I owned a dance company for 12 years. And I directed and created a dance competition. And within this period of 12 years, I was able to accumulate and acquire skills that I needed in that specific moment and area of my life. And the synchronicity that I come to is now, 12 years later, everything that I did in various areas synchronistically have aligned to what I'm busy embodying and the work that I'm busy doing right now. And there's these aha moments that I catch myself and I think, what is that? Why I did that? Because I needed to know how to do it now. And then I have these just light bulbs go off, and sometimes you really don't understand why things are happening at moments of time, and you need to realize that the synchronicity comes way down the line, and that in itself is also just so magical. And I believe that, as Marlene continuously says, we are students of the universe. And if you step into that and realize that you are continuously learning, when you learn and read and gain all of this insight and knowledge, you'll notice the synchronicities that it has much further down the line. And something myself and Alex spoke about privately yesterday before our podcast, I was like, I just had this realization that our spirit guide and our higher self and these people, they're us. It's us. That's who's telling us all these things, because they're living in a different timeline. They've like seen it. That's why they're coming down and giving us this message. So I think that this entire journey, as much as now I go back to the sunflower, as much as it's so difficult in the darkness of growth that nobody sees, nobody acknowledges, and nobody understands, because each one of us are a very unique flower. That sunlight that aids in our growth is just, I think, the most incredible part of why we get to experience this beautiful, magical life that we have. And I think that one must also just remember today is all you have. And some days are really a little bit more difficult than others. And some days you're going to be a little bit more tired. But in those moments, really just try and catch yourself and think, this may be the last time I experience this specific thing. Picking up Mason and holding him. That day might be the last day that I pick him up. So in every moment, you really have to just be grateful. We come back to that gratitude. Be grateful for everything that you have in this life, the dark and the light. And I'm so grateful for this union that we have, this trilogy that we've created between the three of us, and the journey that we are on, and the journey that we're allowing you to walk alongside with us. Because, man, why would you want to do it alone? So much more fun when you've got like a crowd with you. So thank you. Yes, Marlene.
I'd like to add what happened just a short while, an hour or two ago. I got a message from two different people, in fact, about the same thing. And it was, in fact, about a doctor. that I had recommended many years ago to a person. And he said, remember Dr. So-and-so? I said, yes. He said, this morning, over and above the fact that this doctor was actually ill, he went for a ride on his bicycle and he did a jump off onto the next level of wherever he was riding. And he broke his neck and he died. He passed away. Now, I thought to myself straight after that, I thought, wow, that's actually quite incredible. Here he was, pretty ill, went for his ride, broke his neck. Today is full moon. It is the end of the snake, the year of the snake. And I wondered to myself, where was his life and where was his thoughts about his life? And speaking to that very point, Janae, about we only have today. Some of us don't even have the whole day. We don't know. All we really have is the moment of now, right now. And that means for me that I need to remain open, that I need to remain teachable, that I need to be in grace and in gratitude. And yes, things happen, life happens, and it takes me out of that place and space. But boy, I'm getting more of an A-grade student where I don't take as long to get back to that point. And that for me has become such an incredible yardstick of how much I am growing and expanding in my spiritual upliftment and growth in life. So there you go, guys.
Very cool. Thank you for that, Marlene. Yeah, we only have the eternal now moment. It's never tomorrow. Tomorrow never comes. You always wake up, it's still today. And I think that's what's going to happen when you pass away. You're still going to be in the moment. You know, you'll just be in a different body or a different place or who knows. Um, and when you think about it, synchronicities, like in order for something to line up between you or a person or an event exactly at that time, like all the decisions that you made that led up into that moment, it's proof that there's a plan, right? There's like a divine order behind everything. Like it's just so reaffirming to know that like nothing is by chance, you guys. Like nothing is by chance, not even close. And then I've also heard someone say synchronicity is God's way of staying secret. Um, so when you see synchronicities, know that you're on the right path. And don't forget to like and subscribe and put a synchronicity that you've encountered recently in the comments. And we'll see you next time.